I would now request Professor Dr. Sasmita Samanta to kindly deliver a special address to our global women fraternity on this special occasion of the International Women's Day. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Happy International Women's Day to all the women present here or not present here. And this crucial time, I would like to wish each one of the women in this globe for a healthy and peaceful time. As I am working in education sector since last so many years, I very well understand that in this globe, to have a society with peace, a society with equity, a society with justice is possible only through education. And education can be the most powerful tool in this globe for establishment of peace, justice, and equity among all sectors, what we all are dreaming of, aspiring of. Till now, with lots of diversities, lots of discriminations, lots of inequalities are existing in this globe. While we talk about inequalities, always many things are coming to our mind. Of course, gender is coming it as the first place, because 50% of the population of this globe, they come under feminine gender and 59 comes under the masculine gender. So while we talk about gender discrimination, and we all know that in many times, many places in almost all the societies, that women discrimination system exists in some form or other. Sometimes we accept that the discrimination is existing. Sometimes the women accept it as the way of their life. In their life, they accept this is the way for the women, they should live. And we can't realize that this is discrimination and we are suffering for that discrimination. And today in this globe, we just in last 2 years, so many things have happened in this globe in the form of pandemic. We went through COVID-19 pandemic for 2 years, where each one of the individual, each one of the life in this globe is struggling with survival. We all are struggling with survival. We could not understand how to react, when to react, and what to react. And all the whole humanity, we all were too confused about this. And just while we are realizing that this pandemic is being converted to endemic, we all are praying God that this pandemic perhaps will be over in a couple of months. During that time, certainly in this globe, we are witnessing a big war. And again, the whole humanity is in crisis. Whole humanity is in crisis. Sometimes we are listening that this country will be using the nuclear power, that country will be using this weapon, then it may be converted to a world war. So the existence of this globe is also in the stake. If we keenly observe the agenda of United Nations for the existence of the globe, for the existence of the humanity, irrespective of geographical boundaries, irrespective of differences in caste, creed, and religion, irrespective of gender, the first agenda of United Nations for survival of the humanity is peace. And second agenda comes to our mind is justice. Third is equity. And for existence of this globe, the three most sought after situation, environment, the ethics, or the principles, we all should strive to achieve. The first attribute for that is expected from the human being is tolerance. We all are expecting we all know that for achievement of peace, justice, and equity in this globe, tolerance is the major factor. Each one of the human being in this globe, they should be having the sufficient capability of tolerance. Second one is the respect. Third one is the dignity. Dignity for all. That realization of dignity for all, the sense of mutual respect for everybody, and to have sufficient tolerance for the reason of adaptability, for the reason of respect, for the survival of all. I think that is today, that is the most sought after requirement to continue the legacy of this humanity, to continue the existence of this globe. Perhaps that has become very much essential. And today, while on International Women's Day, we all are talking about, I think this is the best time where I said that 50% of the population in this globe are women. And I think that if those group of people are coming together to act according to their natural potentials, the natural values this group of people they possess, I think that the existence of this globe may happen. And maybe this group of people, they are having the enough potential and credibility to act against intolerance, to act against injustice, to act against violence. We are having enough potentials among ourselves, because 50%, as I said, of the population is not less. Perhaps it will be much more. Only the realization of the potential has become very much required. The awareness about discrimination, the awareness about injustice, and the sense of justice, the sense of peace, the sense of equality has become very much required today for all the women to realize and to stand for that. Owning the virtue is very good. Owning the good virtues is best perhaps for this globe. Being tolerant, as I said, that tolerance is the key word which has become very much essential for this globe, for existence and the survival of the world, the survival of the humanity. And the women are having all those qualities within themselves, but having the tolerance for the goodness of the world, having the tolerance for recognizing the positivity in this world and reflecting it in the positive way, realizing that really what justice is, having aware about the justice and communicating in a just way to the world is very much required for the women. Now we see that in this globe, while we spoke about pandemic, we spoke about war, we spoke about different type of violence happening in this globe, it's because the 50% of the population, 50% of the gender, 50% of the humanity, they are perhaps opening the forums for other 50% to develop a society which is biased, sometimes I feel, which is getting enough scope and opportunity to make discrimination against other 50%. They are getting the opportunity to develop a system which may not directly discriminate, which may not directly say that you cannot do this, but it eliminates the other 50% to participate in the form of indirect discrimination. Third one is, I see that the harassment. Sometimes we feel that the people behave in this way, but we don't realize that the people behave this way because I allow them to behave in this way. They behave in this way because I allow them to behave in this way. So the practice of harassment, the habit of harassing the other gender, and to stand against the victimization. Many times we find that women, if they are doing, not doing, if they are contributing 10%, not contributing 10%, in many countries we find lots of discriminations are there in the form of wages, in the form of position, or getting a position with other gender, with the form of getting the equal rights in each and every place in the society. I think there are lots of discrimination happens. We always say that in developed countries it does not happen, but I find that in developed countries that discrimination is much more louder. It's much more louder. Even it starts from the workplace itself. Though in this country like India, that discrimination in wages, the discrimination in positions, getting positions in workplaces, it's much less than the other places. Of course, in this country we come across many systems of social discrimination. Many systems of social discrimination. I think that the women of this country came to the workplace and the higher positions in little bit of later time. Maybe by that time, we all crossed the phase of workplace discrimination, and we built up a system together with the men, where in workplaces that level of discrimination is not seen in this country with respect to the wages or with respect to the promotion. But if we go see the social discrimination system, which itself builds or creates the situation in and around one woman, which is automatically discriminated in the workplace. I was discussing with few of the faculty members in my university while they joined with the men at the same time, maybe 10 years back, 15 years back, around 15-20 faculty members of that time. And also I was discussing with few of the employees in a nationalized bank. And while I discussed with faculties of few universities, faculties of few nationalized banks, I found the problem with women employees not able to go to the higher positions in the workplace, though in the workplace eligibility criteria to achieve the excellence in workplace is same. They are not able to do that because society is not supporting them to grow up to that level. While I discussed with the women employees in the banks, they said that we are married, we are having small kids, we are taking care of those kids, and while I am having two small kids, I'm not able to focus on my career and to contribute substantially for that. And because of that, my male counterparts, they have growth in their profession, but I want to focus balance in my life. I want to balance my life with my life and the workplaces. Maybe because of that, I am 3-4 years back. And while discussed with the faculty members of different universities, they were also with the similar opinion, if not same, they are also with the similar opinion that while the workplaces don't make the discrimination, but our social discrimination, our acceptability and adaptability to the adaptability system created in and around us for family, for society, getting in more and more engaged with the personal responsibilities, all those situations are excluding us from contributing with our highest potential, with our utmost potentials in the workplace. So that sort of discrimination is arising out of that. Being a woman, I can say that if a man is working, he is having enough capabilities to grow, he is contributing and he is growing, I can say that he is just growing with support of the people, with support of the system, without any push and pull. But being an woman coming to the leadership position, I can say that for a woman to grow, it needs lots of patience. It needs 10 times more commitment, 10 times more contribution to grow up to the similar position in the workplace than a man. I don't say that the acceptance for the women leadership is not there. I say that the acceptance for women leadership is there, but it's that acceptability comes with, I can say that 10 times more commitment, 10 times more contribution, 10 times more capabilities. It does not come very easily, because anyone sees any woman growing in their lives, many people or many situations, I can say that if I cannot blame any person, but I can say that many situations or the systems created in our society that pull down. So each one of the women in this globe, the time has come, they have to realize their own potentials. They have to realize where really they are supposed to be, how really they are to be treated in the society, how really they should be treated in the workplaces, what is their judicious position. That realization itself will build up lots of confidence in themselves. In KIIT and KIIS, I have seen we are having more than 50% of the students women. We are having around 50% of the staff in the working groups, starting from professors up to the class 4 employees. So among them, I can see that 50% of the women are there. Of course, education is the best sector where more and more women come and join. In teaching, if you see the school level teaching or the higher secondary level teaching, in most of the places, the number of women employees, the number of women teachers are very huge. And in healthcare services, the percentage of women contributing for that is also huge. So in KIIT and KIIS, we are having around 50% of the employees, those who are women, and more than 50% of the students are girl students. More than 50% across all schools, all disciplines taking together. And during that time, we have developed an ecosystem. We have tried to bring the equality policy where there will be no room for discrimination. That equality policy defines the type of selection with the concept, with the, I can say that, principle of equity. It's not in the principle of equality. If till the moment we cannot bring the principle of equity, I cannot say or I cannot do any justice against any discrimination. While we are acting against discrimination, while we are acting against injustice, while we are acting against victimization or harassment, the equity plays a very key role. So the policies developed, the equality policies developed in the university are developed with the principle of equity. The amount of opportunities, the amount of scope for improvement is available. Improvements are available in the university campuses. It is equitably distributed among all. I have seen our honorable founder, Professor Dr. Sasmita Samanta, who is a great philanthropist, great visionary, which is having a very strong vision for towards the people, those who are not in the mainstream, those who are trying their level best to come out of the poverty, the people, those who are trying a lot to join the mainstream, helping them to come to the mainstream, providing them a healthy life, providing them a healthy providing them the healthy future through education. He's trying to transform the whole humanity through education and proper healthcare system. At that point of time, I have seen his focus for development of women in this women in the university and also outside the university. And because of that, he has brought more number of tribal and indigenous students, girl students, to KIIS than boy students. He ensures that more than 60% of the indigenous girls, they come and learn in the university campus, because as he had lost his father at the age of 4 and he is brought up by his mother, he strongly believes that if a woman is getting educated, then whole family will be educated, or the gender, if all future generation will be educated through them. So that is a strong belief in that. So in this Women's Day, while we are talking about gender equality, it's not about equality outside, it's not about equality which is visible, but equality, the sense of equality should come from the bottom of the core of the heart of everybody. And it should be that sense of equality should be respected by one and all. That sense of equality should be respected by one and all. I hope that in this Women's Day, while the whole world is at crisis, we all are struggling for survival, we all are aspiring for excellence. At that point of time, I hope that perhaps this is the time we all should be more transparent, more, I can say that, more conscious, more aware, and more respectful as we are previously. And let's dream for an equitable world where everybody can live with peace, can live with happiness, and happiness should be the core of this world. Everybody should live happily. Ma'am, it's not audible. You are muted.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Sasmita Samanta, for your very, very enlightening address on this special occasion. I think that gender equality, gender equity, gender harmony, and gender tolerance are all these 4 pillars that are required for a sustainable tomorrow. And I'm really proud of the institution, the KIIT University, the work that they are doing, especially for the women. And I'm glad to tell you that both my daughters, they have been graduated as engineers from KIIT University itself. And it was a really wonderful experience, learning experience for both of them. So it was my heartfelt gratitude to you also for your such a successful endeavor. Here at Sri Sri University, me being a part of Sri Sri University, here we try to emphasize on the happiness quotient of each and every person who is connected with the Sri Sri University. So it is more focused on increasing or enhancing the happiness index of our society. So Dr. Sasmita, we have a very short and a very nice question answer session for you, which has been very well designed by us. And with your due permission, if you agree, can we proceed with the Q&A section?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So here we are. So the first question is that, as you're aware, the trajectory of women leadership is distinct from men in many ways, and especially in India, the social constraints have proved to be impediments for working women. Can you share your challenges you faced in your entire career span?
Ma'am, being a woman, of course, as we come across lots of social constraints, it comes with us with the birth of a girl child in this country or in this world itself. So I remember that while I was brought up in a village, in a coastal village of the state of Odisha, at that point of time, I realized that normally while we play together, boys and girls, during our school time or during our teenage outside, and it is the principle for all the girl children to come back home by 6 o'clock, and boys don't come. Our brothers, our friends, they play outside up to 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock without any inhibition. And I remember that in my family, being a little bit family in the village, I remember while we come back in the evening, then it was mandatory for all of us, that myself and my sister, that we'll be reading the few mythology books, and we have to recite that. And few elder people, they come and listen to those those scripts, and normally that process was going on. But at some point of time, we are also advocating that if our friends can play up to 8 o'clock, why should I come at 6 o'clock and start reciting all those prayers and all those books for 1 hour, and people will be listening to that. That sort of advocacy was we all were going through. maybe up to the age of 7 and 8, or maybe almost 9. Maybe myself and all my friends were going through the same phase. But by the age of 10, 11, 12, we all accepted that perhaps this is the way the girls live in the society, live in a village, and this is the way how the boys live in a society and live in a place where the communication is not there. Maybe in the evening during that time, it was too dark to go out. We accepted the life, but when slowly we have grown up and come up to this level, we all are discussing about the social constraint. Yes, I am also having one child. I have brought up my child by myself. So I have also come across that sort of situation where I had to take a very tough decision to choose between my work and my family, to choose between my work and my child. But I can say that only one thing was very advantageous for me, because our honorable founder, as I said, he's a very philanthropist. He gives utmost autonomy to each one of the individual employee in the system to take their own decision. So he gives lots of freedom to each one of the employee. He ensures the quality of the work. He ensures that work is being executed, but how, when, and what, lots of flexibility is given by him to all the employees. So we all could take the right decision, what to prioritize, when to prioritize, and we could make a very good work-life balance.
Well, that's really, really very wonderful to hear from you. And based upon this experience, ma'am, what advice would you like to give the working women who are, facing such challenging situations at work?
Well, one thing I would like to say that, as I have worked already for 26 years and come across thousands of girl students and thousands of women employees throughout my working career, one thing I would like to emphasize here, that women should be very much conscious about their self-dignity in the workplace. Should each one of the employee, they should be very much aware about their self-esteem and the dignity in the workplace. And I think that everything will go away till the moment we'll be accepting ourselves in a position something below our own self-esteem or dignity. Maybe people will be trying to do something. So if each one of the women in the workplace, they should be able to take the charge of their own work. They should be able to take the charge of their own responsibilities, and they should be very aware of their self-esteem and dignity. So then only the equitable position they will be getting in the workplace. That is very much required for today's women.
Yeah, many times we find that women are always taken for granted at workplaces. Their opinion doesn't matter actually. So many decisions are taken minus the women, even if they are holding responsible positions. So what would you like to say, ma'am, regarding this?
Ma'am, because we allow others to take our place, to take our decision, we don't we don't feel it's very much important to owe our own position, owe our own responsibility. Maybe this allows us to take our position, to take our responsibilities, to take our honor. So maybe that's the reason why people are doing. But I think that more and more will be able and confident to own ourselves. I hope there will be no room for others to intervene there.
Right.
Or intervention will stop there itself.
Absolutely. We need to have a very conscious approach at our workplaces, yes. Like what we are for and what we are doing, and how you maintain the dignity of the profession and dignity of the women fraternity as well. So that is very important. Ma'am, the next question is, you have played various important roles during your tenure from 1996 till date, being the Vice Chancellor of KIIT University. Please take us through your major achievements and your key milestones that you have achieved in your journey.
I would like to say here that maybe I was a little bit fortunate to get exposed to the institutional building activities and got the opportunity for taking up the leadership of an institution in my very early age while I started my career itself. Sometimes I was saying somebody that myself and KIIT, we both started our career together. As we started our career together, so I got the opportunity to get exposed to the institutional building activities itself. So while building the institutional systems, institutional concept and values in the institution itself, slowly maybe I owned all those values in myself. And while institution grew slowly, the values created either by the founding members, our honorable founder, all founding friends of mine, those who are there in KIIT, and everybody, we work together just for achieving of a purpose. Our honorable founder is a very great leader, and I had read one book that the leaders, they always communicates in simple word and the simple system, as everybody feels that yes, I can do this. Like in KIIT, we all 10-20 people, those who completed their university education, they came and joined, and too young. Of course, our honorable founder was also young during that time. While he conceptualized and while he communicated to us what really he wants to do through those institutions, he simply said that I have established these two institutions for the service of the humanity, and we want to see that this institution is building its capabilities to drive the whole humanity towards the for achievement of excellence, for achievement of I can say that a equitable social position, and we all should be part to that, and we all should feel honored that if we are able to bring that institution up to that level, we should be very proud of that. In that way, he wanted to make us understand that this is the purpose for which we all are contributing. So that purpose, slowly we realized, being a faculty in human resource management and organizational behavior, I think that powerful thought, that powerful concept itself had driven us towards a direction, and perhaps forced us to contribute up to our best to achieve that purpose. And that, of course, that vision is so great, there is no limit to that. More and more we achieve, the starvation will be there, that how much can contribute for this globe. So that rigor, everyone in KIIT and KISS, they are contributing under the leadership of our honorable founder. As I said that he's having a very strong vision. Slowly he had diversified the activities in KIIT and KISS towards spiritualism, towards literacy, towards media, slowly many towards community and development, towards healthcare services. So slowly all those verticals became the integral part of our system. So while all those verticals together we are growing, then I think that everybody in KIIT and KISS, they are having a different vision, different expectations from their life, and that vision, that power perhaps is driving everybody to grow in their lives.
Very, 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 I should really, I mean, applaud for this kind of remarkable journey, ma'am. So this leads to the next question, that women look upon you as a leader and mentor of change. So what advice would you like to give to the next generation of women leaders?
I very much agree with the concept of Nobel laureate from Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunusji. One sentence of which had appealed me a lot 6-7 years back, while I was reading a book written by him, the 3 zeros. He had written No Hunger, No Poverty and all. So that in that book, while I went through, and after that I read lots of literature about him, one sentence had appealed me. He had written that each one of this individual has born with the skill of entrepreneurship. He has, and that without any structure system with this in the society, while the society was just while the humanity was just existing in this globe, each one of the person in this globe had has come with the potential to work for something, to decide his own path, striving for the excellence, achieving that excellence, and creating values in his or her life in any means. Today we are telling this as the employment, we are telling about service, but he said that anyone who has taken birth, he has the capability to act against every odd, to create the opportunity for himself and to grow. So in that way, I think that today, if I see this present generation kids, they are much more exposed. They know about the world since their birth. Now technology is not a rocket science for them. I think a child with 2 years old, they can dial the number in the mobile, they can go to the internet, to the YouTube to listen the musics and all. So they are very much exposed to the technology, and they're with that exposure to the technology, exposure to the information, their core has been built up in a different way, where they're well aware. There is no dearth of awareness. They're very aware. This generation is very much aware about this world. But one thing sometimes we find it's missing while even interacting with the students of the university, even students in my school, one thing is missing, that deciding about what is correct, what is not correct. That has become very critical at this point of time. So developing the sense of decision making and developing the culture of trust within themselves, developing the culture of trust and developing the sense of decision making, these two will be playing a very major role for this generation. And while they will be writing, while they are engaged in the social media, writing in the social media, they are communicating somewhere in some platform, this should be very, I can say that it's very much required that they should be very truthful, they should be very transparent, they should be very straight. Because today we find most of the topics discussed in the social media, most of the news telecasted through different channels, it is biased by the views of sometimes time, sometimes it is biased by the views of the community or the group of people leading that, sometimes it is biased by the situation. We say that we are bound by the situation. But today, while the whole world has become transparent, everybody is enjoying the freedom of community, freedom in this community to communicate in a very open platform. The freedom of speech has taken the very, I can say that, center point in this globe. At that point of time, the truthfulness and developing a system of trust with everybody and taking right decision will be creating the good leaders, of course, as I said, good leaders, of course, women leaders for the future generation.
Very nice message, ma'am. This again leads to another question. So it is just coming in a sequence. What is the leadership lesson that you learned, ma'am, which is unique to being a woman leader?
Yeah, what I have realized in my life, I don't know whether I should communicate or not. I have realized in my life that normally it can be very personal to myself, my personal realization, my personal experience. But what I have seen, that boys believe in leading with examples. They want to contribute, they want to grow first, they set the examples, and they want that the people will be driven by that example. The people will be idealizing themselves and they should be driven by that force. But the difference I have seen in women leaders, they believe the people, they trust people, those who are working in and around them. They try to communicate their purpose, their vision, and try to convince each one of them that really this I want to do in this world. This is my vision. And they want to communicate very strongly the power of that vision to everybody, and try to create the sense of respect for their vision and purpose. And slowly they want to bind all of them network all of them in and around that purpose and drive forward. That's the difference I have seen being the women leader between one male leader and the women leader. The men drive with example, women drive with networking or building the strong relationship.
Right. So women as visionaries, you can term them. Because I really very well appreciated the fact which you mentioned. Even I have been hearing it right from my grandmother's time, that if one woman gets educated in a family, the entire generation gets educated. So she becomes a woman visionary for the entire family. So this I had heard from my grandmother also. So I do agree with you. Ma'am, being an illuminary figure in the educational field, I would like to have your opinion on how educational institutions can act as centers of women empowerment. What actions need to be taken to carry this forward?
I think we all have come a long way in that. And if today I discuss with my son and his friends in and around him, I find that in today's society grooming process, perhaps we will be the last generation, or the next generation will be the last generation, or next to next generation will be the last generation. But the discrimination, sense of discrimination since the beginning, that is slowly going down. I don't find that feelings of discrimination between my son and his friends, those who are girls, or the between my son and his male friends and the female friends. That discrimination, they don't really realize. Sometimes we think that it should be done, it should not be done, because our grooming process is like that. But I find that sense is slowly going down. And coming to the university or the educational institution, any individual in this country, perhaps if I take the example of India, at one point of time, around 30 crores population is engaged in academic activities, including the school and higher education. 27 crores are in the school education from your kindergarten to class 12. 3 crores are always engaged in higher education. When at one point of time, in one set of system, 30 crores population, that means 1/4 of the population of this country are engaged, I don't find that there can be any better place for bringing any concept or values to the system, to this country. And as educational institutions are accepted as the place for building of the humanity, for building of the human characteristics, human values, I can say that from here itself, from institutions itself, that values creation should happen towards respect for the opposite gender, or the place for the equality. I cannot say only gender equality, but the place where the values for the equality, the sense and respect for the equality, should come in our culture itself. I see lots of initiatives there from Government of India towards value education. I also attended one session in 2-3 sessions of human values conducted by All India Council of Technical Education after publication of our national education policy. And I find that now lots of initiatives are being taken by the national leadership, state leadership, even throughout the globe, that how values can come to the educational institution as the person is engaged in any educational institution from his or her formative stage up to the adolescent period and the mature stage. I think that phase is very crucial in anyone's life. If those values have been created there, then we can create one society which is just equal for everybody, and equality always exists.
Yes, it's good to know that we are moving forward in that direction towards gender equality and towards a value-based educational system. So which will be of great help to the future generations. With this, ma'am, I would like to ask that what is a message you would like to give to the global women fraternity on the International Women's Day?
I think in this International Women's Day, I would like to say one thing, that each one of the women in this globe should be proud to be the woman. Each one of the women in this globe should be proud to have the womanhood. We all should be proud to have the attributes, characteristics, the feminine characteristics we all have, which is having the enough credibility, power, and potential to build a society with peace, justice, and equity. We are having that inherent quality with us. With the God's grace, maybe we are blessed with all those virtues of tolerance, virtues of respect for others, virtues for being selfless. I hope those virtues, if we come out, if we want to, if we determine to build the world, I hope we are having enough credentials and potentials to build. Let's be proud of women. Let's build a world in and around us which is peaceful, lovable, beautiful like us.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Sasmita, for a very enlightening and wonderful session. It was really nice to hear your insightful thoughts. On a concluding note, I have a small composition that I just came across, which reflects upon both the softer and the stronger side of a woman, which I can very well correlate with every woman, a very soul-touching note. I would just like to quote that. It takes a lot of strength to be soft, to flow across the windswept plains, needing nothing but your breath, your heartbeat, and the light. To feel those words that are not said and feel through the ones that are. To know that being is enough, because what more you do, you need than safety and a dream. Be a conduit of divinity, to ride the wind and make love in the rain, to chase the sunsets and raise kind children. What more do you need to find a friend or two who really just to get you because they are brave enough to have their softness too? So thank you very much, ma'am. I'm really honored. So with this, we come to, I express my heartfelt gratitude to you once again for sparing few moments of her valuable time to be with all of us on this special occasion of International Women's Day. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would also take this opportunity to wish all the global women fraternity on behalf of the Charchika Forum of Sri University a wonderful International Women's Day. Be bold, be beautiful, be yourself, be the guiding light for the world. Jai Gurudev, Jai Jagannath.